Hello and welcome to the Health Wizard podcast with your host, Elena Wilkins, who happens to be me. I'm so excited that you are choosing to listen to this podcast because you're choosing to put your health as your priority. This podcast is dedicated to teaching the most natural, amazing means that you can use to get your health back on track and reclaim the person that you used to be before getting sick. Now, very quickly, before we dive into the good stuff, I just wanted to remind you that this podcast is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. My podcast is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have a medical condition, please seek the help of a licensed medical professional. We're not medical doctors and we do not treat, diagnose, prescribe, or make any claims outside of what we know or what we do. So by choosing to listen to our podcast, you take responsibility for your own actions. And if you hear the testimonials of people who were able to get well, you'll realize that their outcomes depended on their effort and their specific condition. With that said, let's jump into today's topic. Please enjoy. Hello, beautiful people. And I know it's been a while and I should get to the point where I just admit I would love to release podcasts every single week, but life always gets in the way. So I actually need help. So if you know of any great person who can take the things that I have to share with the world and create wonderful podcasts out of them, let me know. This is one area where I can use help. And that way, I can serve you on your health quest even more. But here's what we're going to do today. I actually have a very active Facebook group, a couple of them. By the way, if you're not in one of them, you should join us. So in one of these groups, I had two amazing women ask two amazing questions that I will cover in today's podcast. One of them is going to be about the fear of the future, especially when you're dealing with a hormone imbalance and how to overcome that and enjoy living your life. And the second one is how the lack of minerals and vitamins could possibly affect your thinking and thought process. So enjoy this episode and I'll talk to you at the end of this podcast. Today, I am coming to you to answer a question that was posted by Ramya Shree. And here's the question that she asked. She said, Elena, how do you overcome the fear of disease? Specifically, for example, fear of cancer. She said, many people are suffering from cancer, which was then a rare disease, but now it's not. She says, I have beautiful dreams, which is on hold because of endometriosis that I'm struggling with. Life seems overwhelming, which is creating stress and hence affecting health and mainly causing hormone imbalance. When health goes for a toss, that is the end of the story. Here I am with my dreams still on and with the potential, but unable to move ahead, and that hurts. Now, what kind of mindset should we have to remain healthy and to reverse the disease? I hear people saying to me that it's okay, don't think so much. But the only question I have is, I have only one life to live. I want to live a long life, also a quality life. I really want to make my dreams a reality and also get the foundation of my life to the peak, which is emotion, body, and mind. So in other words, how do we live in a world that is filled with naysayers, filled with people who are sick, filled with people who don't go for their dreams? And right there you are in the midst of it all. You have a grand life to live, but you have a hormone imbalance in your body that you're struggling with. And that is a great, great question. And fortunately, because I have done it for myself and now with thousands of others, I do have an answer. And it is really a multi-level, multi-pronged approach. And here's how we approached it. First of all, you need to make a resolution in your mind that you are going to live that optimal life, optimal health, your optimal dreams. And before that happens, and if you were ever on a call with me, here's what we talk about. You need to be clear on where you want to be in as little as 3 months, in 12 months, in 3 years. So then we can make a plan around it on how to get there to that point. Those people who always wish for something but don't have a concrete idea of where they want to be, they never accomplish that something. They only become the wishers. Like it's throw a penny in a wishing well and you hope it happens. It doesn't. Any great idea needs to have a great plan. And then every great plan needs to have a follow-up action. So that would be number 3. So first of all, make a decision on where you want to be. You ask me, how do you live through this all fears? Well, I made a decision for myself that now that I have recovered from the pituitary issues, from the infertility issues, from hypothyroidism, I made the decision that I will never be there again because I chose not to practice the same lifestyle, not to eat the same diet that got me there in the first place. So for me, it was stress, it was a poor diet, and medication, birth control medication screwed me over completely. So I had made a decision that going forward, I will practice mindfulness. I will eat a whole foods plant-based diet, and I will choose my outcomes. And if I need to address something, I will do it as naturally as possible, unless there's a big emergency, and then I'll be in line for drugs as well. So first step is to make a decision not to live in fear. Now, there are several kind of different fears. I'm not saying that we're going to live a fearless life. That would be just stupid. I have a fear that is healthy dose of fear not to do dumb things like eat a poor diet, take more medication, because the reality is I've already experienced the pain from those things, and the fear of that keeps me healthy and in place. So once I got well, I'm not going out and eating things that are bad for me because that would be stupid. So the fear of going back to where I was before keeps me in line from not repeating this ever again. So fear is healthy, and we just need to know which fear to choose. I love to follow the lives of people who have made it big in their life, any kind of success, financial success, fame, whatever else. And I always look, what are the factors in their life? I was listening to an interview not too long ago with Elon Musk, and you probably have heard of him. He is the creator of Tesla and really is huge in that arena of technology. And he said, I'm always filled with fear, but it is my fear that propels me to achieve this greatness. So I don't want the kind of fear in your life that will paralyze you, but a healthy dose of fear. And that should be, I cannot remain where I am doing the things that I am doing to keep me in place where I am. That kind of fear that will propel you to make different decisions. That is healthy fear, and I want that in your life. Really do realize that I don't want you to live a fearless life. That would be simply stupid. And all of these things that people have out there, live a fearless life, I don't agree with them. I simply don't agree with them. I think that we need a healthy dose of fear, because if we were meant to be fearless, we would all stay toddlers, right? Those creatures have no fear at all. You want the finger in a socket, there it goes. You want my hand on a hot burning stove, there it goes. So I don't want you to live a fearless life. I want you to live actually beyond the fear. The fear can be your backseat passenger, but not your front seat driver. So with that in mind, do I live in fear of cancer? My answer is no, because I've taken the precaution in order for me to never develop cancer. So all of us at any given time are fighting cancer. At any given time, somebody has cancer cells growing on the inside of them. And what I'm asking you to do is get to a point in life to where you can overcome those cancerous cells. And that means your immune system is up to par and you're doing great with that. All right, so step number 1, make a decision to where you want to go. Step number 2, and this is how I know when somebody succeeds or not, is you need to get yourself either an accountability partner, you need to get yourself a mentor or a coach. I've done this lifestyle for a long time, but to this day, I read books. I read an average 1 book per week, and I listen to even more. I listen to a lot of interviews, so I'm always learning. I'm also in programs where I have mentors. So for example, I wanted to take my business to the next level. What did I do? I didn't go and watch all of these YouTube videos. How can I do it on my own and save the money? Here's what happens when you're trying to save the money. You're saving the money, but you're wasting your life. Time is one thing that you will never get back. Like you said, Rameshri, there's only one life to live. And if you have only one life to live, the last thing that you want to do is trying to pinch pennies so that you would do it on your own. Here's what I found. And I have extended myself drastically financially a lot of times to be able to get to my dreams much faster. So several years ago, I was in a point where my business was okay, but it was not getting me to the next level. We're just making it fine. We just paid off my husband's medical bills. There were a lot of them. And I was in a point saying that this is no longer enough, and I needed to make bolder decisions in my life. That means I needed to restructure my business. I didn't have the time to go back to a college somewhere that would take long. So I found a business program online. And I paid a lot of money. Just to give you an idea, it cost me over $10,000 to do that program. And I was scared because I didn't have that money back then. So I put a part of it on my credit card, and then I gave myself a month to come up with the money. By the time I got to the end of that month, I had the money because I worked relentlessly. Because in my mind, I was willing to make all the sacrifices necessary, even if that meant no vacation that year. But in order for me to grow my business to the point where I was comfortably calm in my heart that my family would be provided for. As I took the risk, as I took the leap of faith, the universe, and you can call it God, met me halfway and allowed me to land safely. So when I took that leap, I did not know where I was going to land. Was I going to have the money? I don't know. Was I going to have to pay that money that I put on a credit card for the rest of the year? I did not know. But all I knew is I could no longer live in that fear of, I need to be frugal. I need to save that. But then the fear was, how do I do my future? I chose a different kind of fear. I'm going to take this huge leap. I'm going to put this money on my credit card. And as I jump forward, here's what's going to happen. The universe, or like I said, whatever divine power you believe in, is going to have to catch me. And it did. But had I not taken that leap, I would not be here at this point. Since then, we have worked with thousands of women, getting them to the health that they only dream about, delivering them services on a whole new level where I could not do before, doing things that I did the way I did them before. So that kind of fear propelled me toward a better future. So when I work with my clients right now, the biggest thing I always tell them to do is get yourself a mentor or a coach. If that is me, fantastic, let's talk. If that's not me, find somebody who can deliver you exactly what you're looking for. And that means they've done it for themselves. It's not just a theory for them. And they've done it for countless of others. And there's proof of that. So this past Monday, as I was on a call with our clients, we were celebrating. On average, right now, we're seeing that most of our clients improve 60 to 80% in a matter of 3 months or more. This past call, I had a client who was at over 90% success in just 11 weeks. I had one just started only a week ago. She's already 30% better. So what we do have is the proof of concept. It works for them. So when you're looking for a coach or a mentor, you want to look for somebody who can do that with you, not for you, because that's not real coach. Real coach will do it with you, never for you. So that is another factor to look for. So first of all, decide on the outcome. Where do you want to go? And decide that I'm going to live without this fear of cancer, or I'm going to use this fear to my advantage. Instead of paralyzing me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it propel me. Use that fear to your advantage. So again, instead of being paralyzed, you're going to move forward. Instead of freaking out, you're going to get inspired. Secondly, find a mentor to get you there faster. Yes, you can take a year, 2 years, 10 years to get to your desired outcomes, and maybe you will get there, but those are 10 years you can never get back. So whether it's me or somebody else, find yourself a coach who can get you there in a matter. Right now, most of our clients get better within 3 months to 6 months. They're as close to 100% as humanly possible. Can you get that kind of mentor in your corner? Then you have already succeeded. And thirdly, take inspired action. Taking any action is not smart. I can wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to just go and email everybody or call everybody, or I'm going to go file things. Well, that's action, but that action does not lead me necessarily to saving another life. Taking inspired action means you know where you want to go, you know how to get there, and now you're going to take this big leap to get there to your health. For me, in my case, it was getting that coach, talking to that coach, enrolling in the program, doing the program, and then implementing it and taking action on what the program taught me. If you and I were to work together, your inspired action would be to first start working with me. Second of all, to have that call with me when we lay out this clear plan of action and what to do. And then what you do is you implement. We have one policy in our program: no excuses of any kind. I don't care if you worked late and you had no time to make your food. That means you did not plan around your health. You planned around your failure. And that's an excuse. What I want to hear is, I planned my weekend around my health. I did everything that needed to happen. And now if I work late, I already am prepared to succeed. So another way we don't do this is, oh my God, I thought it would be much easier, but Elena is asking me to change my thought life, to change my diet, to change my relationships. So my clients basically don't complain. They're asking me, okay, I might have hit a roadblock. How do I get over it, around it, or through it? Those are the only options that we live with. So make a decision where you want to go. Use fear to your advantage. Get a coach if you can, and then take inspired action. When you do these four things, Remishri, then on the other side of this beautiful formula lives your answer and your success. This is how you can overcome your endometriosis. And I've seen it happen. Go to our website, www.360impacthealth.com, and go to the success page and scroll all the way down. You're going to see a story of a woman who resolved endometriosis in a matter of 2 months. It went from a growth that she felt through her skin to within 2 months, it was undetectable. That's your inspiration. That's how you get there. Take inspired action, move forward, and know that it is possible. If others have done it, then you are no better or worse than they are. The only difference between you and them is your ability to take action, to work through your fear, not live according to your fear. And I talk to a lot of women regularly. Last year, I had a young lady reached out to me. We spoke with her, and she said, well, I can't do this right now. I want to go do it on my own. And she went and did it on her own. A year later, she reached out to me and she said, things got worse. Can we work together now? Well, of course we can if the situation is right and if that person is still right for me to work with. But here's what happened. She lost a whole year of her life to stress. She stressed over her thyroid getting worse, over her goiter getting bigger. Did we get her outcomes? Yes. Absolutely. She was able to cancel her thyroidectomy and her goiter shrunk by about 50%, if not more. But that time, a year of her life was spent just waiting, figuring things on her own. That is your fight or flight. This is your freeze moment when you just don't breathe anymore. You're living in fear. So the best way to live through that is follow this formula. Again, I'm going to recap it. Step number 1. Make the decision that you're going to live your life to the fullest and get really, really clear what that life is going to look like. Step number 2, take your fears and use them to your advantage. And that means propelling you to making decisions that will benefit you. Don't let those fears paralyze you. I see this every single day. Same two different people, same situation. One will respond positively, have great outcomes, and the other one will freeze and say no. On an average day, we speak to about 3 to 5 people. And we often say, okay, we believe we can help you. Here's the solution. Do you want to take the solution? One will say yes, in spite of her fears, and another say no, and will go off and hurt more. Third, find a mentor to get you there faster than you can do on your own. And fourth, live with inspired and by inspired action. So take inspired action. That means don't just think about it. Don't just plan on it. Do it, make it happen. And that's it. And that's how you live without the fear of dying prematurely. Well, all are going to die. The goal here is to live your life to the fullest so that you don't die long. So most Americans, most people around the world, they're popping pills left and right. That is not life. That is not living. That is long drawn out death. I'm going to invite you to do the opposite. Live long and die really short and fast when it is time. When your time comes and it's at the end of your golden years and you take a deep breath and exhale and say, I've done it all. I've achieved it all. There are no regrets, as opposed to suffering and struggling, living in fears and always wishing and always longing that there would be something better than what you have right now. Now, if you're listening and this is your first time hearing me, I hope that you have been inspired. And Remshri, I hope that I answered your question to the fullest. And now you know what action to take next. Luz, you said, does lacking vitamins, minerals in our body affect our potential to think positively? Yeah, to a point. I can tell you this, Luz, that yes, in a way it can affect your ability to think. So brain fog, if there's lack of minerals, if there's lack of certain vitamins in your body simply does not have the tools that it needs to function. Now, thinking positively is something that can come outside of that circumstance. All of the clients who come to me don't come to me like this, oh, I feel great, I just want to do better. They usually come to me when they have hit their rock bottom. They're at the bottom of the barrel and they're scraping by and they're saying, oh my God, I can't even focus on the next day. And the first thing that I'm asking them is, let's make a decision where we're going to go. And that is the first positive thing. And next thing I'm going to ask you when you work with me, Luz, is let's never take our eyes off of that goal, no matter how hard the going gets. We're going to spend 95% of our time focused on the outcome, only 5% acknowledging that there's a problem and fixing it. So the lack of vitamins and minerals is not going to affect your ability to think positively. It might affect your ability to think clearly, though. So that is the moment when you take a leap of faith. If you, for example, start working with me and you jump into it, and you might not have brain fog lifted yet, but you're doing it, and I already give you the tools on how to think positively, but not just think positive, think great, everything will be okay. It doesn't work that way. You actually need a clear plan of action of how to even think clearly and think positively. And there is a plan, there is a way. When you create it, how do you create those emotions? How do you become saturated in those emotions? How do you spend that time focusing on your health so much that your body forgets the sickness, the disease? So I'm going to repeat it again, because I think that is worth remembering. Your body, your mind, your heart can focus on your health so much that your body will start forgetting the disease while we're nourishing with proper food, with proper thoughts. So your health is never food alone. And there's this big misconception out there. Elena, you're just teaching a diet. I can learn this diet all on my own. If the diet was the answer, most people would be healthy, because there are a lot of people who eat healthy and they're still sick. When I look at health, I'll look at it from several perspectives. A, the diet, because it's the foundation of everything that you're doing. We'll look at it, we fix it. Second, we'll look at any possible deficiency that could have been created by a poor diet, or it could have been created by a genetic mutation of some kind. We address those two. Then we start looking if there's any or had been any trauma in your life, and that includes your psychological. So your mental health, any kind of physical or sexual trauma, if that happened in your life and you had not resolved it, then you need the tools to resolve it. And I'm not talking about talk therapy. Maybe it works for some people. Usually by the time people come to me, it has not worked for them. So we go deeper. We'll give you the tools that you can just resolve it on your own and stay free from that trauma. Then we look at your relationships, because relationships can make or break health. Just look in your surroundings. You're an average of the people that you spend most of your time with. If they're naysayers, if they're fear mongers, there is going to be clinging onto you. You're going to become that. If you're going to get around me and my clients, I can tell you that you're going to be so fired up that you will not be able to help yourself but to get healthy. You just can't. You can't be around health and greatness and not get fired up on it and not to get infected by it. So that will be the next thing. So that is positivity. So we have the diet, the deficiencies, genetic things. We'll look at trauma. We'll look at relationships. Then we'll look at stress. How do you handle stress? How do you process stress? Then we give you the tools on that. And then we'll look, of course, at your body's ability to move, at fitness. That has a huge role to play with how we feel, right? This morning I got up, and first thing that we did, I had my water, I got dressed, and we went for a 40-minute walk with my family. Then we got home, changed, and my daughter and I went swimming for an hour. My body was in motion, and by the time I hit my desk, I'm all fired up. But if I woke up tired and exhausted, and I didn't move, and my diet was horrible, then I would be here probably sitting like this, not feeling like I want to talk to anyone. So it's really a multi-level approach. Can it be the lack of vitamins and minerals to think clearly? Yes. To think positively? No, that is a choice. Now, I can tell you this. The longer you are sick, the more likely you feel anxiety or panic or depression or other negative emotions. And what that does, it imprints in your brain and creates neural pathways that become a habit. And the longer you stay in with those thoughts, the deeper those neural pathways are, the more your personality becomes formed as a negative thinking personality. And all we have to do is give you the tools to reprogram your mind so that you can start focusing on the positive thoughts. And there is a way to do it without completely exhausting you. And that way, by focusing on new thoughts, you're going to neglect the old thoughts, and thus you're going to atrophy your old thought patterns, which was your negative thinking. And that includes disease thinking. That includes thinking that sounds like this: I will never get well. I'm afraid of my future. I'm afraid that my marriage is going to fall apart. I'm afraid that my kids don't have their mother. We call the ladies that we work sometimes couch moms, right? You're so sick that you're stuck on the couch and you give directions to your kids from the couch. You don't want to be that kind of mom. What you want to be is you want to be I'm up, the world is up, I'm the greatest mom, the greatest wife in the world. And you want to start from this point of making the decision of what your outcome needs to be, what you want it to be, and not drifting along in your life I'm going to go where it takes me. So the decision between the 1% of people who succeed financially in America, the millionaires and billionaires, and the ones who do not is this. One group of them they know the destination and then they make a plan and they will take inspired action to get there. The other ones will be wishing that they won a lottery or just wishing for a better life. The same applies in our health situation. This is the 1% of people who succeed. I wake up in the morning and I immediately decide how my day is going to go. I don't wait for the day to happen to me. I happen to my day. So I tell my mind when I wake up, I'm grateful to have woken up today. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for all the things that might not have even happened for me yet, but I'm already grateful for them. So in gratitude, I create my reality. If I woke up, oh my God, I'm up again. That's how the day is going to go. Before you know it, somebody cut you off in traffic. Before you know it, you got an unexpected bill. Before you know it, somebody cheated on you. So things happen to you when you don't wake up prepared and you tell your day how it's going to happen. If you want the things happen for you, not to you, you design your life. And that means you sit down, you make a plan, then you take action and you make it happen. So I hope, ladies, that this has answered both of your questions, and I hope that it has served you and the rest of you who will be listening to this. I hope that you are going to take inspired action after this. And if you want to be like one of my clients who've written to me this week, and she said, I'm finally pain and ache-free, Elena. It feels so great. And in 12 weeks, she's over 80% better after years of having been diagnosed with Graves' disease. So imagine if that were you. What would your life be like if you woke up 3 months from now and you are at least 60, 80, 90, or even 100% better? What would that feel like to you? I want you to jump into that future, to make that feeling your own and make decisions based on that. And if that is the future that you want for yourself and you would like to get help in getting to the outcomes that you want, all you have to do is reach out. You can go to our website, www.360impacthealth.com, and schedule yourself for a free 15-minute health clarity call where we can dive deep into your problems, deep into your goals and dreams, and see if we are the people to get you to the outcome that you want in the shortest amount of time possible. With that said, thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast. You've been a great audience, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you in the very near future. This is Yelena Wilkins signing off and wishing you a great rest of the day and, of course, the best of health possible to humanity. There you have it. Did you enjoy today's podcast? If you did, make sure to subscribe to my show. And don't forget to tell others about it too. If you'd like to get more information about me and what I do, how I help amazing human beings just like you achieve their optimal dream health, go to www.360impacthealth.com to the contact page and shoot me a note. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you on the next episode of the Health Wizard podcast.